Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Decline Invite Short Notice. This could have been an email, but it wasn't. I'm your host, the extroverted IT leader, Ryan Drumheller, and today we're going to talk about kind of a sore subject for me, being an individual who has experienced this and met many others over the course of the past few weeks who are saying a lot of the same things in the industry, and that's bad leadership. So it's one of the harder topics to speak about because it's one of the hardest to actually measure for organizations properly. I mean, what the true cost of bad leadership, specifically bad IT leadership is, because most companies are measuring the wrong things. They're looking at things like uptime, ticket counts, projects completed, infrastructure spend, security tooling, help desk metrics, etc. But almost nobody is talking about the much harder question is technology leadership actually helping the business operate better. And those are two very different things. So the first thing is just like the hidden costs from that. One of the biggest problems with bad leadership is that it rarely shows up in like one giant catastrophic event. I mean, it can either show up slowly, or if you're not paying attention, anyways, it can look like it's slowly and it can compound and eventually becomes just an organizational drag across the entire business. I mean, you'll see it. This thing is happening in employee frustration, burnout. You're duplicating work efforts, you're seeing stalled projects, technical debt, cybersecurity exposure, bad hiring decisions, poor prioritization, failed AI initiatives, constant chaos. The business is just moving slower than they had. And the scary part is that most organizations normalize it. They just think that this is just how the business works. No, that's what happens when leadership maturity doesn't scale with the business at the end of the day. Well, let's talk about some of the productivity loss. I mean, that's where it gets really expensive fast. The employee productivity. This is probably the biggest hidden cost in most organizations. It's when your systems are actually fragmented, teams are constantly working around the broken processes. Nobody owns the prioritization. Employees spend half their day fighting tools instead of doing actual work. They're burning money every single day, and companies massively underestimate this. If we just did some simple math, if 100 employees lost just 30 minutes a day because of inefficiencies, bad systems, duplicate work, interruptions, or poor processes design, your average loaded labor cost is around $45 an hour. That's roughly $585,000 per year right there from just 30 minutes a day with 100 employees. We're not even talking cybersecurity incidents. We're not talking any kind of failed ERP projects. It's not ransomware. It's just the operational friction, and leadership owns that at the end of the day. Going further into it, if we're talking technical debt and chaos, technical debt is another one businesses completely misunderstand. Most people think technical debt is a technology problem, and a lot of the time, it's actually a leadership problem. Technical debt grows when nobody prioritizes modernization. We have short term fixes that become permanent. Architecture decisions are reactive. Teams are overloaded. Governance is weak. Leadership keeps delaying hard decisions. And eventually, your organization becomes slower and slower to execute. And then leadership starts asking, why does every project take so long? And it's because the business has been accumulating an operational debt for years. So bad leadership creates turnover. This is another one. Bad leadership creates burnout. It creates turnover. I've seen organizations lose incredible people because the environment just became too chaotic to operate inside of. Again, they had constant priority changes and no accountability, no ownership, active leadership, no direction, no trust. Everything always feels urgent. Strong people eventually just stop fighting with that. And you're replacing talent that's expensive at the end of the day, especially when you're talking about IT. And then when you get into leadership roles, and again, like we're not even talking about recruiting costs at that point. Just talking about the turnover, and you're not even factoring things at that point like the knowledge loss, the momentum loss, the execution loss. And then when your best people leave, the business slows down, whether leadership wants to admit that or not. It's the truth. You're just getting less and less things done, and you're just not as successful anymore. And I think at this point, it's a good place to hear from our sponsor. Hello, everyone. Ryan here from Stellarhorn. Let me take a quick second to talk to you about something I see all the time. Most businesses don't actually have a technology problem, they have a leadership problem. They've got systems, tools, even teams in place, but no clear direction, no strategy, and no one connecting technology to the business. That's exactly why I built Stellarhorn Group. I help organizations through fractional CIO leadership, advisory, and project-based work, bringing executive-level technology leadership without the full-time CIO cost. Whether it's strategy, cybersecurity, AI governance, or leading critical initiatives, it's about helping you make better decisions, reduce risk, and actually move forward with confidence. If that sounds like something your organization is dealing with, please reach out. Let's have a conversation. Stellarhorn Group, rare leadership, real results. Technology leadership without the full-time CIO cost. So now that we're back, AI is my notes I have written down for this is like AI is about to expose us even more. It's already doing that at the end of the day, and this is where things are getting interesting. When you have weak leadership structures, it's going to magnify this at a massive scale because AI, doesn't just magically fix the actual operational chaos. It actually shines a beacon. It shines the bat signal on the actual cracks, the holes, the issues that you have at that point. And if your business is already struggling with governance, accountability, ownership, bad data, unclear processes, weak leadership alignment, yeah, it's going to make those problems way worse. They're not actually going to make them better. And that's why so many AI initiatives are stalling inside environments right now. Businesses are rushing into AI before they've built operational maturity. Well, the real question, right? The real question businesses should be asking isn't if they have good technology. It should be, do we have leadership maturity strong enough to scale technology responsibly? Because the good IT leadership, when you have that in place, it provides clarity, it makes prioritization, it holds accountability, you have governance, you have trust, you have operational alignment, and there's speed. And bad leadership just creates a drag on that, and eventually the drag becomes measurable in dollars. So to follow up with this, I will have a newsletter out for the extroverted IT signal. The bat signal I think is so needed right now in the IT leadership space to shine light on all of this. I'm actually writing an article with a ton of data points, a ton of citations in there that it's kind of indisputable at this point. I mean, it's one thing to be talking about it here on the podcast, and I've absolutely seen it from my own perspective. I've lived it from my own perspective. I still see it. I can drive a couple minutes down the road and point at all the places I've interviewed at. I can tell you how many bad leaders they have in place that are costing their companies who knows what. And that's the thing I'm working on. I'm actually figuring out a way to calculate this to show businesses that this all does come back to dollars and cents at the end of the day. I mean, despite the humanality portion of it that you're going to lose. You're going to lose really good individuals who don't want to work for individuals like that and who don't trust and believe in them. And then you have these individuals who are just showing up every day that are in leadership titles, I'll call it. They're not leaders, they're holding titles, they're getting paid as such, but they're not actually doing anything to the profession. They're not doing anything for your business. And I'll prove that at the end of the day, if you're not in technology and you're not staying up to date with what's coming out, you're not trying to upskill, you're not having your teams upskill, you're not asking for better along the way, you're not actually providing anything to the business at that point. You're actually damaging the business because any kind of information you're giving at that point isn't actually what's relevant in the industry. It's not what's going on. And you're likely missing out on opportunities at that point that could save your company thousands, millions, who knows what at the end of the day, depending on what you're missing. And if any of those other points I've talked about slowness or just not getting things done, at the end of the day, if you're in a leadership role, isn't it about the output? Isn't it about what you're actually getting done? In addition to actually leading, in addition to reducing turnover, in addition to all those things that we've talked about in this video so far. So yeah, I have a very strong opinion about this. Having sat in all of those rooms for most of my career, and as much so in the last year, and seeing so many businesses, even physically local to me in that space, not promoting the environment, not promoting the profession, not promoting good leadership for the next generations coming up. So yeah, this one's a little tough, but I finally figured out a way in my mind to actually go about it. So stay tuned for that newsletter. Stay tuned for what I'm about to launch on my website in the near future here. So my closing thoughts are: if the organizations that are going to win in the next decade won't simply have the better technology, they're going to have the better leadership systems around the technology. And that's the key difference. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another leader who probably needs to hear it, or share it with others in your space. Maybe you're not quite in the leadership title role yet, but you're wondering what life should be like, or you're questioning things. This is the episode. This is what it should be like. You should come in encouraged every day. You should come in believing in your leader. You should want to emulate some of those things, or get advice on how you can learn some of these traits and do better over time, and eventually get there yourself. So again, I mentioned, if you're interested, this week's Extroverted IT Leader Signal newsletter will go into deeper convo on this particular topic, and we're going to have some interesting stats around that. So stay tuned. There's more to come. Unfortunately, this is the one topic that I want to go away. I want this topic to stop being a topic, and I want good IT leadership in this space. Don't think that that is too much to ask. That should be the status quo. That should be the norm. And you owe it to every single individual that you're leading in a business, or any of these events that I see individuals that aren't good leaders that are getting invitations to speak at and do other things. That's so damaging, and you're not a leader at the end of the day. You're accepting something and not actually doing anything else, and then you're putting that conversation out in this space. Shame on you, honestly. But more to come on that. So this has been Decline Invite, short notice. Could have been an email. This one definitely should not have been, and I'm glad that it wasn't. And I'm Ryan Drumheller, the Extroverted IT Leader, and I'll catch you in the next one and a few other forms of media coming ahead. Take care, everybody.